My name is Chavi Mudgal and I run strategy at Incred Group. Hope you've been keeping safe through these times. On behalf of Incred, I'd like to welcome you to this conversation with Mrs. Punita Kumar Sinha, who is chairperson of Incred's AMC. Punita is a globally renowned expert in equities and is on the board of several leading Indian corporates. In today's session, we'll focus our discussion on the upcoming US presidential elections. Policymakers, investors, as well as market participants have been tracking the Trump versus Biden race and debates and are eagerly awaiting the election outcome post November 3rd. Firstly, welcome to today's discussion, Punita.
Thank you, Chavi.
This election will obviously govern whether the Republicans or Democrats come into power, not just in the White House, but also the Senate and the House of Representatives. And if the polls are to be believed so far, Biden is in the lead. But given how the swing states actually behaved last time around in the Trump versus Clinton election, I'm not sure how easy it is really to predict the results. You are currently sitting in the US. What are you sensing or picking up around there on the elections?
So Chavi, this is what's on everybody's mind right now. Given what has happened in the past, in the last few elections, where the polls have gone wrong and the election victory has come at a very low margin, it's going to be difficult to really say with certainty as to who's going to win this time. The polls are, of course, predicting with a 55% probability that Biden will win. But there are swing states, and that will determine the actual outcome. And Florida is going to be key to that. So, the election, as you said, it's not just about the president. It also, what we should really think about is also what happens in the Senate. And that's going to be very important. If we're going to have a clean sweep by the Republicans or the Democrats on all three, whether it's the president, the House and the Senate, or are we going to have a president from one party and the House and Senate with another party? So all of those are going to be very important in figuring out what the policy making is going to look like going forward. So this election, obviously, we shouldn't just focus on the president, but we should also focus on what happens in the House and the Senate.
No, absolutely, Punita. So, depending upon which president comes into power and how the Senate is constructed, there are different policy initiatives which have been undertaken by the Democrats as well as the Republicans. And one area in which they significantly differ is taxation. Could you just elaborate for our viewers as to how that's different in case of both the parties?
So, Chavi, traditionally, Republicans have always been for a smaller government and lower taxes. And the Democrats have been more for fiscal expansion. And that means different tax rates if Republicans come or the Democrats come. So for one, corporate tax rate, the Republicans brought the corporate tax rate down. The Democrats might increase it. So that's the first change that we might see if the Democrats come instead of the Republicans. The second is the personal income tax rate. We may see some changes there as well. Mr. Biden is already talking about increasing taxes for people who earn more than $400,000, which in Indian terms is about roughly 2.5 to 3 crores. Then we are also seeing the Democrats talking about raising capital gains tax rate from 23% to almost 39%. That's going to be a big change. And as you know, in India, of course, the long-term capital gains are very, very low. And in the US, they're already at over 20%. And if they go up to 40%, then that's a big move. So I think these are the three big taxation initiatives that will differ based on who comes to power. And that is going to affect the incomes of people. That will have an impact on markets, on sectors, and many other things.
Yeah, thank you for that, Punita. The other area, where the Democrats and Republicans again diverge significantly is on the issue of foreign policy. And as we saw when Trump came into power, he completely had a dramatic shift in foreign policy with America first, looking inwards and tightening immigration norms, etc. Do you think that will continue if he comes back into power, and how do things change if the Democrats win?
So Chavi, there are three areas on foreign policy that could be differently handled by the two different presidents. First is on immigration, second is on multilateral institutions, and third is on trade. On immigration, of course, we know that President Trump is anti-immigration and he wants to change it on to a merit-based versus a family-based, and also linking it to wages in terms of getting H-1B visas. The Democrats are softer on immigration as compared to President Trump. On multilateral institutions, President Trump has not been very supportive of multilateral institutions. He doesn't think America needs to keep supporting these institutions. And therefore, he's also pulled out of the Paris Agreement, and he may pull out of NATO and other such multilateral agencies. Mr. Biden is, on the other hand, much more supportive of multilateral agencies. He's more supportive of working with other countries and setting up, peaceful negotiations. He also believes in being part of many of these agreements, so we may see a shift back there. And he definitely might take a different view with respect to China as compared to President Trump, as well as to North Korea, perhaps, and some other Middle Eastern countries. Now, on the trade as well, I think that they're going to both act quite differently. We've already seen that President Trump is America first, as you have said, and therefore he wants to have more manufacturing in America. He doesn't want, and there's much more rise of nationalism, as we've seen with President Trump. And there's definitely going to be less focus on working with other countries, and the trade barriers are going to be raised, as we've already seen tariffs raised. Now, when it comes to Mr. Biden, we will see, again, a more benign trade relationship with other countries. Again, on this, we may see him handling China differently, as well as perhaps not have such tariff barriers that we've seen under President Trump.
So, Putita, how do you think stock markets are likely to react to the election results? And in the current run-up to the elections, do you see the volatility increasing?
So, Chavi, I think it depends on the outcome of the election. If we have a disputed election, which is also a probability we should not dismiss, which means that while we may have a clear winner, the results may be disputed by President Trump. And, there's a strong likelihood that he could dispute the results if he's not a winner. So there will be a lot of uncertainty at that time, and volatility will definitely increase. If we have a clear sweep, again, a wave, as they say, the blue wave, where the Democrats are in control of all the House, the Senate, as well as the presidency, then of course there will be rally because volatility will reduce. Short-term markets will feel at least that there is some clear outcome. And the same thing would happen if the Republicans had a sweep. Of course, if there's a hung parliament, as they say in India, where there is mixed results in terms of the House and the Senate and the president itself, then we're going to see more gridlock in policy going forward, and that itself could create uncertainty and volatility for the markets. Now, the consensus view is that if the Democrats come to power, because they're going to raise long-term capital gains, that a lot of people will sell this year to harvest their gains, because they don't want to wait till next year to see the higher impact of the gains on their earnings. So we might see downward pressure on the markets if that were to happen. We could also see the emerging markets benefit from this, because President Trump has taken a harder line with China and other emerging markets, especially on trade and foreign policy, as I've discussed. And so the consensus view is that a Biden victory is going to be more positive for emerging markets, more positive for EM currencies as compared to the dollar. And therefore, the asset class mix might change in people's portfolios, and we might see move from US equities perhaps into emerging market assets and EM currencies. So all of those things are going to depend to a large extent on what is the outcome, whether there is a hung parliament, so to say, and whether there is a clear presidency in place or not. And until the results come out and they are not disputed, I think there will be volatility leading into the markets.
And what does this mean really for different sectors, Vanita? Do you think, depending upon what the election outcome is, different sectors could benefit separately and hence also reflect in markets?
Yes, Chavi, I think there would be some disparity in sectors as well, because as I said, the Democrats are looking to raise taxes. And the reason they're looking to raise taxes is because they want to fund more infrastructure. They want to increase the, the well-being of some of the more underprivileged people, the working class. They want to support the minimum wages for them as well. And so, again, that could mean consumer discretionary sectors could benefit if that were to happen. Materials and infrastructure related companies could benefit. And perhaps what we've seen, the old favorites, which is pharmaceuticals and technology, telecom may not do as well. So I think there will be a shift towards where there is going to be fiscal thrust. And the fiscal thrust at the moment appears to be going, if the Democrats win, towards infrastructure, towards consumer, towards energy, towards sustainability, towards renewables, and towards even perhaps financials, which could benefit from this as well.
What about healthcare, Vanita?
So I think healthcare is a tricky one because there are drug pricing controls that could come in, perhaps if Democrats win, or they could raise taxes. Again, on certain kinds of R&D initiatives. So it's a little unclear, but if the Republicans win, again, the consensus view is that technology, pharmaceuticals, healthcare. Now, healthcare, of course, the Democrats might do more healthcare spending, so certain kinds of healthcare will benefit, whereas others may not. But if President Trump wins, then the view is that technology and pharmaceuticals and all the favorites that we've seen having performed over the last few years will continue to do well. And if interestingly, people have created a Trump basket of stocks and a Biden basket of stocks. And at the moment, of course, the Biden basket of stocks is outperforming because they believe that the Democrats could win. So the market is already getting polarized into different baskets of stocks and sectors.
That's really interesting. Let's talk now about what we think this means for India. You already spoke about how you think there could be flows which come into emerging markets depending upon a democratic victory. But there has been, there's been a lot of analysis on the street on how different countries are going to get impacted depending upon what the election outcome is. There is, in fact, a UBS report which is out there which talks about, on factors such as trade and foreign policy, the Fed policy, fiscal spending on things like infrastructure, which markets would benefit more. And it seems to be that irrespective of the victory, India might benefit depending upon certain sectors. What do you think about this? Do you think it's as neutral as what the UBS report proclaims, or India will benefit more depending upon one party winning?
I think, first of all, I think any American president realizes the geopolitical requirement for why they need to have good relationships with India. They need India to balance China and Russia and some of the other countries. So geopolitically, I think whether it's been Democrats or Republicans, we've seen them actually try to maintain good relationships with India. Now, in general, as I said, that emerging markets might benefit more in a Biden Democratic presidency, which would also be beneficial for India. Now, Indian sectors are perhaps, to some extent, all sectors globally are correlated, and we've seen technology and pharmaceuticals do well in India as well as the rest of the world so far. And we've seen some of the other sectors, again, whether it's materials, and they are also globally correlated. So we've seen similar sectoral movements in India. I suspect that could change going forward. India could decouple from what happens in the US, because the US sectoral shifts would be more policy, specific US policy dependent, which may not be the same policy moves that we see in India. So that might happen. Of course, if there is uncertainty in the US on the election itself, and it's a disputed election or an election that results in not a sweep, but kind of a gridlock situation, then markets will, of course, be volatile, and that volatility could also flow into emerging markets, into India as well. And while they may outperform the US markets, they might still see the same kind of volatility that we are seeing in the US. But I think our tax rates in India are different than what we might see in the US. Our corporate tax rates are different, our capital gains tax rates are different. And so I think some of these tax measures that might change if Democrats come to power will be very US specific. And that might actually help emerging markets, as I said, might even help India getting more flows.
The only one question I have as a corollary to this is whether you think, depending on which party comes into power, the dollar may, be affected in a different way, and hence currency movements globally, could get affected. So the reason being, for example, that if there's a large stimulus package which comes in from Democrats, that could perhaps lead to some weakening in the dollar and gains, therefore, in the Indian context for the rupee.
Yes, you're right, Chavi. I think, as I said earlier, the currency movements are also favorable for emerging markets if the Democrats come, because the emerging markets will feel that the relationship between the US and the EMs, particularly China and the other countries, may not be as stressed. And also, more money could flow into emerging markets because if US capital gains tax rates go up, perhaps more people might want to invest in emerging markets. So I think emerging markets will benefit, and that would benefit the EM currencies. The one thing also I would like to add is that there is a view that because President Trump is harder on China, he's perhaps a little bit more, his relationship with India has generally been quite good. And the Democrats are perhaps not going to be so hard on China, and so maybe they won't be as favorable on India. And also because the Democrats are very much focused on sustainability and human rights. Regardless of which party comes to power, both will have some strategic relationship with India for different reasons.
Yes, and in light of everything you've said, the run-up to the election outcome becomes even more interesting for us. So even in India over here, I think all our viewers, as well as us and market experts, will definitely keep a watch, and we will see how the outcome plays out. Thank you so much for your comments, Puneeta, and I hope this has been an interesting session for our viewers. And we will actually do another analysis with Puneeta on how the markets react once the election outcome is in place sometime mid-November. If our viewers have any questions regarding this, please tweet us on or email us on the links which are posted on the video over here. Keep safe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much, Puneeta, for your time.
Thank you very much, Chavi, and thank you to all the viewers for watching.